This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We see Juventud Guerrera, Super Crazy, and Psychosis debut on WWE TV after Crazy and Psychosis had already worked One Night Stand. We would see Guerrera defeat Funaki, indeed. And then Crazy and Psychosis would defeat Akio and Billy Kidman, all taped for Velocity. First things first, what was your experience with getting all three of these guys into the company? Juventud, Super Crazy, and Psychosis. They'd been on the market for quite a while, but here in 2005, it's finally time for the big call up. What's the sudden interest in these three guys?
Crazy had been, I'd known him forever through Victor Quinones, and we had used him at different times throughout several incarnations of Super Astros and some of our Latin market things that we've done. I knew him through ECW as well, and Super Crazy was one of those that you like so much personally, but then his talent spoke for itself. So Crazy was one of those, and the other two were, right place, right time, and looking to do something. So the moon and the stars all aligned, and it worked out.
Well, it's weird though that, you sign them after this big absence where they weren't on WCW TV or ECW TV, but you debut them on Velocity. I mean, that tells you a lot about where they're going to be, is it not? I mean, if they were
What's wrong with Velocity?
Okay, we'll go with that. But then you turn them into the Mexicools? Chat me up. First of all, you could never get away with that today. In hindsight, is that one of those regrettable gimmicks, or did you dig it and they loved it, or what can you tell us about the Mexicools?
Well, they did love it, and it was different, and it was something about them looking at their heritage and proud to be Mexican, and it was kind of cool. Hence the Mexicools. The rest of it was taking into kind of the stereotype and how I think that people would have thought we would have done it, and them embracing it and saying, yeah, man, we'll be, what they think that they want us to be. And the rest, as they say, is history. Definitely wouldn't play today, and don't know that even, at that time that it was the greatest thing in the world to do. However, when a talent embraces it and they're like, hey man, let's go have some fun with this, then that helps.
No, listen, no doubt. It seems like they were having fun with it, but the idea that these guys, who I fell in love with in ECW and WCW, are now in like coveralls riding a goddamn lawnmower to the ring. It's a little what the fuck.
Well, they liked it.
Oh my God. Can you just admit, hey, we probably shouldn't have done that?
Oh, I don't think we should have done it at all. No.
Okay. On SmackDown,
and I also wish we'd only done Super Crazy too, because I think that of the three, not taking anything away from Juvi and Psychosis, I just think of the three on a global basis that Crazy was probably the most marketable of them all.
Why do you think that is? Is it the lack of the mask? I mean, I thought Juventud and Psychosis, when they were masked, had really cool looks, loved their stuff in WCW. And I admit, I felt like they were different characters. And I guess they were without them.
They were, and they were great. I'm just saying, as far as Super Crazy could work pretty much any style.
Right.
And could adapt to someone else's style. And Juvi and Psychosis worked a little more lucha style. You can't take away Juvi's charisma. Juvi had a shitload of charisma, man. But you had to work, in my opinion, Juvi had to work that lucha style.
We talked briefly about the Mexicools a moment ago. They're going to attack William Regal. This is sort of an odd first pairing for the Mexicools, is it not? Or did you see how well it had worked, a few years prior with Tajiri and Regal? And you're like, man, we can put anybody with Regal and that shit's going to work.
That becomes a reality. Sometimes you try not to do that. But when you have someone that's as versatile and can turn pretty much anything into gold, you tend to rely on it.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, if you watch the program now, you see who, you know, the company can rely on. They find themselves becoming utility players, for better or worse. I want to briefly mention the Blue Meanie situation again. Before we do, I want to mention Mind of Meanie is a new podcast. Blue Meanie's a great friend of the show, done a bunch of live shows with us. We think the world of him. If you like Blue Meanie or you like comedy and wrestling, check his podcast out. He does it with Josh Chernoff, another great guy. So check it out. Mind of Meanie. Meanie's going to wind up pinning JBL in that no DQ match we talked about earlier, where Stevie Richards is going to hit JBL with one of the hardest chair shots in the history of fucking chairs that most fans would perceive as being a receipt. And then Batista is going to attack JBL and hit a spine buster. Why the bWo here? I mean, you have Stevie and Nova. Why not just add Meanie and really make a go of the thing here?
I don't really know. I just think it was Meanie and Meanie had an opportunity to do something kind of apart from a group. And that kind of worked.
We've got the bWo here taking on the Mexicools. bWo come out on big wheels. I guess here Hollywood Nova and Simon Dean are different people completely. And, yeah, we got Simon Dean, the former Simon Dean, and Hollywood Nova. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I got absolutely nothing. Look, you can't bat, what is it, 500 all the time? Or do you bat 1,000?
You bat 1,000. If you're a 300 average, you're first ballot Hall of Famer, but 1,000 is as good as it gets. It's perfection. And
okay, well, I can't bat 1,000 all the time.
Okay. Your boy would write, the Mexicools versus, 3 cartoons did not work. Simon Dean worked the whole match until Stevie got the hot tag. Hoovy missed a plancha and was selling the right knee. Don't know if that's good or bad. The guys in Mexico do work on the right instead of the left. Meanie never even got in the ring before Hoovy pinned Stevie with the Tijuana Jam. A nothing match really, but at least the right team won. Star and a quarter. Yeah, Mexicools go over. This is the end of the bWo. And, I guess we're giving the actual signed tag team a win here instead of the one-off bWo.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Not good. That's one of those where you look at and you kind of look at 15 years later and go, ugh.
We hope he's loving talking about Great American Bash today from 2005. It went down in Buffalo, New York. 15 years ago today, July 24th, 2005. The last pay-per-view that had anything to do with SmackDown was the One Night Stand show back in June. Of course, you may remember the SmackDown and Raw rosters sat in the balcony to watch the action until the end of the night brawl. During that brawl, JBL, quote unquote, shot on the Blue Meanie, opening up a cut that he had from a few days prior at another ECW reunion show. And longtime listeners know you weren't at One Night Stand, but there was some immediate fallout, or so it felt like, of the JBL Meanie thing. There was some big buzz online, and it resulted in quite a chair shot heard around the world on SmackDown. Was that just much ado about nothing in hindsight? I mean, these days, JBL and Meanie are on great terms. And is this just one of those misunderstandings, or what would you categorize this as?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it was one of those spur of the moment type things, and it ain't ballet. And sometimes things happen in a physical environment like that where everybody's going at it, and things can turn real on a dime. And I think it was a misunderstanding and a silly, horrible look. Not silly to Meanie, who got his head bashed in by any stretch of the imagination, but it was unfortunate more than anything.
Let's talk about something that we haven't talked a ton about. You're going to bring the Diva search back here in this era. Why? Who's pushing for this? Is this a Kevin Dunn initiative?
Well, the Diva Search is, you're looking at a variety show and you've got a lot of different things and a lot of different segments to fill and different, as Michael Hayes would say, demographs.
Oh God.
It was something in the vein of searching for talent. And during all this, we were searching for talent, but it was another way to do that and address it and get it out there.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.